Paris's Musée d'Orsay has a new show on now that focuses on the role of black models in art history. To get an inside look at the show that's on now through July, I'm joined on the set by Dr. Lauren Jimerson. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Jeannie.
Now, you're an art historian specializing in late 19th and early 20th century French art. You also work as a guide for Paris Muse. That's a group of art historians who give tours here in Paris. What's in this exhibition and why is it so important?
So this is an incredible, groundbreaking exhibition, and it's a topic that's been long ignored. It's about the major contribution of black people to art history. So it starts with the French Revolution and the first abolition of slavery in 1794 to the present. And it focuses on Paris and France, but it also touches on the Harlem Renaissance in New York. And it's really about individuals here. There was extensive research done that uncovered the names of models previously unknown, and those names appear in the exhibition. It's also about the different meanings of the word model, both an artist model and an exemplary figure. So the aim is to give a name and a story to these neglected figures throughout modernist history.
It's such a great idea. How did it first come about?
So it actually all started with one black model. Her name was Lauren, and she appears in an important painting by Monet called Olympia. This painting takes pride of place in the exhibition. It features two figures. We have a white nude, Olympia, and her black maid, Lauren. Now, this painting caused a scandal when it was shown at the Salon of 1865. Audiences were disturbed by the upfront display of a prostitute. And so scathing reviews ensued. Later on, art historians credited Monet for painting the first modern nude. However, the other figure in the painting almost escaped attention until a woman named Denise Murel wrote a dissertation, and she talked about Lauren. And she noted that Monet paints her not as an exoticized foreigner or as a former slave, but as a working-class woman. And she argues that part of what makes Monet's painting modern is that it represents an everyday working-class black female figure in Paris. And so in a way, the painting reflects a formation of a new black identity ongoing in the Parisian capital.
Who are some other neglected figures like Lauren?
So there are many others in the show. One of them is a model named Madeleine, and she appears in this exquisite portrait by Marie-Guillemette Benoit. This was a painting shown in the 1800 Salon, and at the time, her name was not revealed, but extensive research has revealed her name, and they retitled this painting Portrait de Madeleine for the exhibition. So Madeleine came from Guadeloupe. She was a emancipated slave who became a domestic servant in France. Another model is Joseph. Joseph was from Saint-Dominique, and he moved to France and became one of the most important artist models in the 19th century. Still, we only know him by his first name. He was a model for Géricault, and he modeled for Géricault's famous painting, The Raft of the Medusa. And there he appears as the figure waving a scarf, the last vestige of hope after a disastrous shipwreck. By the way, Géricault was an abolitionist, and he decided to paint 3 black figures in his monumental painting, which hangs in the Louvre today.
There's also Alexandre Dumas.
Yes, of course. Alexandre Dumas is in the exhibition. He is one of the other figures. They also, in addition to artist models, they discuss the eminent intellectuals in Paris. Alexandre Dumas was the grandson of an emancipated slave, and he wrote The Count of Monte Cristo. He was a very important figure on the literary scene in Paris in the 19th century.
So what about other black celebrities in the world of entertainment? How are they represented in this show?
So they come into play, and one of the most famous is Josephine Baker. So she arrived in Paris after World War I. This was a time when Paris was transformed by a new Black community. They were bringing their rich cultural traditions, including dance and jazz. And so Josephine Baker arrives, and in 1926, she performs the Charleston with her African flair on the Folies Bergère, wearing her legendary banana skirt. Later on, she became part of the French Resistance, and she was also a civil rights activist. So in the exhibition, there are posters of her, photographs, paintings, and video, and even a doll representing Josephine Baker. Another interesting figure who appeared on the circus scene in the 19th century is Miss Lala. She was the daughter of an emancipated slave and an aerialist in the circus, and she was immortalized in one of Degas' paintings. He shows her with her teeth clenching a rope being hoisted to the top of the roof of the Cirque Fernando.
Lauren, thank you so much for coming in. And don't forget, if you want to check out this exhibition, it's on at the Musée d'Orsay until mid-July. Remember, you can also check out some incredible private art tours with Lauren, with many of the other guides at Paris Muse on their website, parismuse.com. All right, that wraps it up for me this hour. Claire Pride's up next with the news. Stay with us.